This ketchup is made out of bananas. There's a certain appeal to it. Mix mashed bananas, brown sugar, vinegar, spices, and you find yourself with a sweetish, sourish brown sauce. Add some red food coloring, mix it well, and you have banana ketchup. Banana ketchup is a classic Filipino condiment that any Filipino has with their breakfast, lumpia, tortang talong, and the Filipino spaghetti with hot dogs and cheese. Banana ketchup tastes great. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It is delicious and unique, but familiar in a way. But why does this exist? Who even thought about turning bananas into a condiment? Why is it so great with fries? We answer all of this in this episode of Juan Curious, Banana Ketchup, the Unlikely Condiment. Let's get some things out of the way first. Tomato ketchup was not the first ketchup. It wasn't even the second or the third. The word ketchup came from the Hokkien Chinese word ketchup, a sauce derived from fermented fish. It found its way to the British trade in the 17th and 18th centuries, and they liked it. And the British tried to replicate the sauce. Mushrooms, walnuts, oysters, anchovies, even fruits like plums and peaches. All kinds of ingredients were used to try and replicate the fish sauce. Eventually, there was success with mushroom and walnut ketchup, and those were the de facto ketchups or catsups at the time. It wasn't exactly like the fish sauce, but it did the job. In America, a scientist by the name of James Mees eventually figured out tomatoes can also be turned into ketchup. While it was a hit, there were problems with it. The tomato ketchup couldn't last as long as ketchup or mushroom ketchup. It could grow mold, spoil, and in turn was lambasted by many. Pierre Blot, a culinary author, called it filthy, decomposed, and putrid. It was only when Dr. Harvey Washington Wiley partnered with a certain man named Henry J. Heinz that tomato ketchup became the iconic condiment that we know and love today. This ketchup used red ripe tomatoes that had more of the natural preservative pectin and had more vinegar in it to reduce spoilage. It won the hearts and taste buds of America and earned its spot as America's favorite condiment. And that is the brief history of tomato ketchup. What about banana ketchup? Like many things in life, banana ketchup was born out of necessity and ingenuity. During World War II in the Philippines, food was scarce, and among other food, tomato ketchup wasn't as readily available in the Philippines. It was considered a luxury. Banana ketchup was invented as a replacement to the tomato ketchup that people craved. Bananas, brown sugar, vinegar, and spices were mixed and mashed together to form a sauce. Red food coloring was added to emulate the tomato hue that people looked for, and banana ketchup was born. Even after the war, the banana ketchup found its way to the Philippine kitchen. It became embedded within the Filipino palate. Our Filipino spaghetti is famously flavored with this banana ketchup and adorned with sliced hot dogs and cheese. Urban legend says that it was in the office of MacArthur where his military aide fashioned a makeshift Napolitan spaghetti, a pasta dish that features sausage and ketchup as core ingredients from banana ketchup and, you guessed it, sliced hot dogs. Banana ketchup was mass-produced in 1942 through Magdalon Francisco, who coined the term Mafran, the banana sauce. As of now, the brand it was under, UFC, is underneath the arm of NutriAsia and is still the widely consumed banana ketchup. While Francisco was credited with the first commercial ketchup, he is not the one credited with inventing the condiment. That is someone else's honor and credit. And who was she? Well, she was the inventor of the banana ketchup among many other things. She is responsible for 700 recipes that showcased and used fruits and vegetables native in the Philippines. She devised a way to freeze and export canned mangoes when freezing as a method was not yet a thing. She's responsible for smuggling food to POWs during the war at the risk of her own life. Many a veteran would attribute their survival to her and her magic nutritious foods. Enter Maria Ilagan Orosa, pioneering food chemist, war hero, and patriot with a dream. A dream to make the Philippines self-sufficient, a self-sustaining nation in terms of food and nutrition. After studying both pharmaceutical chemistry and food chemistry in America, Orosa came back to the Philippines to help advance food preservation and food security. Food preservation and techniques were vital at the time, as during the 1920s, canning food in the Philippines was unheard of, and the Philippines paid a pretty penny for that. Under American rule, the Philippines was spending millions on importing canned preserved food. There weren't any locally produced canned goods at the time. canned goods were almost exclusively imported in the Philippines at the time, making them very expensive. Canned foods soon became status markers. If Americans ate it and used it to establish their social superiority, then Filipinos at the time must have observed canned food as a symbol of cultural sophistication and refinement. Orosa, who worked in salmon canneries to learn of their techniques, worked with her Department of Science and later on the Food Preservation Division to have such canned and preserved foods produced in the Philippines. So in the Manila Carnival of 1925, you could imagine the awestruck faces people had when they saw what Orosa and her team had to show. Frozen mangoes, bottled fruit preserves, canned goods, wondrous magical science brought about through innovative and passionate minds. She observed over 50 canneries in the US, China, Japan, and Hawaii, and studied their techniques of commercial canning and sought to teach people across the nation the science of food preservation. She was passionate, resourceful, fiercely intelligent, and forward-thinking with the belief that knowledge was something to share, not sell. To think that banana ketchup is only one of the many inventions to her name is baffling and awe-inspiring. Let's name a few. Besides the banana ketchup, there's rice bran powder for combating thiamine deficiency, Soyalac protein-rich soybean powder, frozen mangoes, wines made out of native fruit, calamansi concentrate, flours made out of banana and cassava, and the palayok oven, which allows people to bake and cook things without the use of electricity. During the onset of the war, she served as a captain in the marching guerrillas, where she kept the forces fed and diverted resources to ensure everyone could eat. She smuggled food to prisoner camps, and many would have perished from starvation if not for her. Sadly, she was among the many who were killed by shrapnel during a bombing raid in the Malate Remedios Hospital on February 13, 1945. She is remembered by many, but not enough know about Maria Orosa and her deeds. Banana ketchup was one of her many achievements, and perhaps while it is the most known, Orosa should be remembered for being more than that. A brilliant food chemist war hero who fed the Philippines with her resourceful products and genius mind. She may have not commercialized any of the food inventions of her and her department, but that's because she did not want to gatekeep her knowledge. In order to uplift the Philippines, all knowledge she acquired was recorded and shared with the next in line of curious minds and scientists. And so, that's the story of banana ketchup and its creator, Maria Orosa. It was a condiment born out of an ingenious mind and necessity. And while the present times are different, the banana ketchup is here to stay to keep our breakfasts and spaghetti tasty, comforting, and Filipino. Thank you for watching this episode of One Curious. What other things are you curious about? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.